Welcome to the fourth episode of tellUs with me, Gaeya, as your host. Right now, more and more countries are going back into lockdown, and for many people, this can create a lot of anxiety and stress. These are rough times, and we need to find the tools that can help us stay grounded and healthy, even when the world feels like it's breaking around us. We have to learn how we can stay safe within ourselves, knowing what we can control or not, and learning to put our focus on the things that create peace. Therefore, today we're going to talk about mindfulness and meditation and how these techniques can help us tackle hard situations in life. Today I'm talking with Jessica Sterner, who is a stress therapist and a practitioner of meditation and mindfulness. She's also running the daily meditations on social media for the platform Spelamansgården, where thousands of people join the live practice each time. What are mindfulness and meditation, and how can I implement it in my daily life so that I have the tools when needing a moment to recharge or stabilize? Welcome to this episode of tellUs. Jessica, hi and welcome to the program.
Hi, thank you so much. I'm glad to be here.
So happy to have you here. I'm so interested to know a bit more about you. So I wanted to start off this session with asking, can you tell us a bit about yourself and the reason why you started to work with mindfulness or meditation and stress therapy?
Yes, I'm glad to tell you. I'm Jessica Sterner, and I live in Gothenburg, south of Gothenburg, on a farm with my family, where we recently built a yoga and meditation studio, and I'm very excited for that to happen and kick off now this autumn.
That's beautiful.
And I've always lived in nature, by nature. My parents still have the farm with horses and pigs and fields, green fields. And that's actually where we are today, recording this part.
Exactly, in a beautiful room as well.
Yeah, beautiful glass room. Yeah. So nature has been my life from start, and I can't be without nature. Nature gives me peace and quietness and also connection with myself, deep connection with myself. It helps me, be grounded and rooted,
Yeah.
So, but I'm also been working with mindfulness and nature for many years now. And in the way this started, I started with stress therapy sessions. So I had clients and patients. And the last keys I found after some years, that it was really to find the last key for the patients. And then I took this education, mindfulness education, MBSR, you call it, mindfulness stress reducing. Yeah. And that was aha, wow. So because I've had the awareness all the time, but I got the tools now to actually teach. So that was great. So I'm very happy for that.
Beautiful. I think that's really coming more into place, and we will talk about this later on in this session as well, but that we've come to a place in time right now where the stress levels go up and up and up for many people. And I think these kinds of practices and awareness about how to settle yourself and root yourself is a very necessary tool to be able to handle situations that are stressful.
Yes.
What do you think is the reason why people feel like loneliness, depression, anxiety, and these kinds of feelings, and why it has increased so much during these last few years, both among younger people but also older people?
I think the whole world is buzzing. The world is never still. And we are never still. We are keep going. We are high goals. We want to do everything at the same time. We never, I shouldn't say never, but we seldom have time for ourselves and just be with ourselves and be in quietness.
Yeah.
Because the world is not quiet. It sounds everywhere. And I think in the olden days, we all lived by nature, close to nature. And we could look at the sunset and we could just, listen. And it was we were a part of nature.
Yeah.
And we could find peace within. It just happened. And we lived by summer and winter, and in the winter time, here in North anyway, it was dark, so we went inside.
Yeah.
But now we have also social media, and we are connected all the time, but not to ourselves.
Yeah.
And I think that's challenging for us. And also we close our deep feelings, because when we are not deep connected to ourselves, we close off our deep feelings.
Yeah.
And when you close one feeling, you can close all the system. So I think that's one part. And we also see so much in social media, and young people see, faces and how we should look and this and that, and it's
comparison, loads of comparing yourself to others.
Yeah, all the time, because that's what the world telling us about, and the world's, advertisement and they want to sell, the world want to sell, and so we are part of that instead of being a part of ourselves. And it's a challenge to re-change that.
Yeah.
But I think that's necessary.
Definitely, I fully agree with you. No, but I can really see as well that it's easy for someone who also have been practicing. For myself, for example, I've been practicing going back to the roots and taking care of my inner self for most of my life.
Yeah.
And being very close to nature and having that. But even for me and for, I guess, a lot of us, or everyone more or less, it's easy to be pulled back into this spinning wheel of all the information and everything that we are hooked up on in this society today, in this modern world. So we always need to keep reminding ourselves to go back and look at things of what is really important in life and what really matters for me as a human being.
I think that's exactly correct. We have to remind ourselves what's important. What's important for me and my family or my friends, and try to be more in the present moment. And when we are more in the present moment, and awaken our senses. I think when we awaken our senses, we can help ourselves really to be here and now, easier, and slowly, how do you say, not collect, but we can slowly get back to ourselves, true self.
Yeah, definitely. Reconnecting.
Reconnecting.
Yeah, that's beautiful. And I'm thinking about as well that for people that maybe have heard about mindfulness as a practice and those things, but doesn't really know what does it mean, I was thinking it could be fun to go into what is mindfulness and what is these other kinds of practices that you're doing. And tell us a bit about that.
The beginning of the mindfulness is from the Buddhism religion. And that's how it started. And it's a beautiful way to connect to yourself, to connect to others, be true to yourself, be true to others, be kind, and not judge yourself, not judge others. But for me, it's not so much about the religion or culture. For me, is the deep present moment, here and now, which is important. And that's how I teach, to be really in the present moment with your body, with your heart, with what you're hearing, what you see. This is a way you slowly can reconnect. So that's how I work with it.
Beautiful. I think for a lot of people, and I guess here in Sweden we've been quite lucky in that sense that we haven't had full lockdown in terms of coronavirus. But I know in other countries the situation have been looking very different from here. And it's hard for us here in Sweden to fully imagine how it is to be in full lockdown for months. But what I can feel and also sense from people that I've been talking to is that there is the levels of depression and anxiety is increasing, and these kinds of practices can help to restore balance and reconnect. So therefore I wanted to talk about these things to give some hopes and some tools to help people in that direction. What would you say, like, if you would, for someone who is sitting at home, spending most of their time in loneliness, and maybe having conversations on the phone with their friends, and doesn't have the same possibility to spend time out in nature, do you have any tips that you would like to share with that?
Yes, I have. If we first talk about bringing the nature inside, for maybe people who lives in the city, I think just, pick some leaves and bring it inside, maybe a flower, maybe some branches that you have. So you can always remind yourself about nature, even if you're not in the nature all the time. I think that's important. And maybe look outside, even if you see the city, or if you live in the city, you can go to a park, or you can maybe take the bus to, pick some pieces from nature inside. I think that's, for me, that has been working when I've been living in the city.
Yeah. That's a good one.
Yeah, that's a good one. And also, people in the world are suffering, and it's a very strange time. And I think also nature helps there. If you're allowed to go outside, bring nature in. Yeah. It helps. It helps reconnect to yourself and get you have focus on something else than the situation. And is that what you meant?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, going back to the most basic things.
Yes, exactly.
Because usually when we get in stress situations or depression and stuff, it usually ends up in our head, and we creating situations, or it may be started as one situation, but we have a tendency, or our minds have usually a tendency to grow things. And I believe going back to the simple things and to come back to center is a way to help ourselves in balance.
Definitely. And we have a different situation here in Sweden, but also you can bring the awareness and the present moment if you sit inside, maybe in a flat or apartment in the world, and you start to feel like I can't handle this anymore. Go back to the center, go back to reconnect with yourself. If you have a cup of tea, if you have coffee, be aware. Try to not be in your head and your thoughts, just be with your coffee or your tea. Or you cook a meal, see the colors, smell, awaken all the senses you have, because it calms us in a strange way. It does. So, and maybe you can take a help with you and have some deep breaths, and so back to basic.
Yeah.
And not out there in the world or on Facebook, on Instagram, and on all the buzzing.
Exactly. Definitely. Yeah. And I mean, for me, it helps every single time to be putting awareness back to the things I do.
Yeah.
Like if I'm walking in the forest and I'm looking at every leaf, I look like down at the details.
Yeah. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's beautiful. And then you see the colors, you start to see the beauty around you, and you start to appreciate things around you. And that makes the whole experience so much more euphoric.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Like drinking a cup of tea, of the herbal tea, and like feeling all the amazing things in that cup of tea.
Yeah.
It's
amazing, because if you only go on we talk about being on autopilot in mindfulness, in the perspective of mindfulness, is we do things just automatically.
Yeah.
We drive the same way, and we to work, maybe if we drive, or we just do the same things. And if we can just not do that and just be in the present moment. If you run, for example, don't take your earplugs out and stop the music.
Yeah.
Listen to your own inner music instead, your inner voice.
Yeah.
And feel the feet on the ground running, and feel your body and your breath, and be aware.
There's some really, really powerful stuff to that. That's something that you who listen, I really would like you to if you haven't tried it, go try it out. Start to look at details and appreciate them, and even the stuff that are seem scary sometimes.
Exactly.
Like that's how I treated fear for spiders and for
super.
that. I started to look at them and appreciate the beauty, like starting to see how magnificent these animals are.
It's funny how we can trick ourselves to think, to feel stress in our thoughts, and actually get symptoms in your body.
Yeah.
So if we actually are here and now and try to, okay, it doesn't matter, I'm late, but okay, what can I do? I am late now. And not going to thoughts and, short breaths and everything, just
exactly.
It is what it is.
And many times when we start to also accept things as they are, when they happen, things turns out to be much more smoother as well. and you become more happy.
Yeah,
so
that's how it is.
You can like surf on the things instead of
exactly.
and like having the waves like smashing your head. So it's beautiful. We've seen through the last few years the interest of meditations, yoga, mindfulness, these kinds of practices. And I know that nowadays you can also do mindfulness on the university, like you can educate yourself in the university for doing these things. And this was something totally new. I didn't know about that was possible, but it seems like it's more open now to talk about these things, bringing in the full awareness of the body, not only the physical view of everything, but also the emotional and our mental and spiritual as well, of course.
Oh, that's amazing. I think a lot have happened just since me and my friend Carina at Meditation Guide in Sweden, we started to send meditation. We started to actually have meditation, physically meditation, where we actually met 6 years ago. And now so much happened on social media, and because now we can send live on Facebook or Instagram or other terms. So that is, I think social media is fantastic that way, because you can have so much education easily, and especially in this time now when the world is locked.
Yeah, and I mean, you have reached a lot of people through these.
Yes, it's amazing. We are so grateful to be able to meditate together, and that's been it's been fantastic in these times, because we started off in, I think in May or April, and it's been, people needed a space where we could just be together, and they always knew that we were there every week, and they connected online, and there we were all together, breathing and sitting still and meditating for a few minutes together, and people could write a little bit and note afterwards and ask questions, and it's amazing. It's been amazing, and also from Carina and me, it's been great to give, and also for us to be in that community together. So it's been wonderful.
That is, I mean, that's what we need as well, I think, especially in these times, but in times overall, that we need to feel a connection to a group of people, or feel seen and feel appreciated, and I think that doing these kinds of practices together and helping ourselves back to the center together is very powerful.
It's powerful, and I think we need to be together. We need to have contact and talk and but feelings is just sit beside each other, and you don't have to talk, but we are there. But now when we can't maybe do that, we can it is what it is, but we can all, anyway, we can reconnect to ourselves.
Yeah, that's beautiful. And by doing that, we also connect to others.
Yes, exactly.
I know that you've been working with different kinds of organizations, for example, like the Swedish police, with these kinds of practices. So, like, in what way could these practices, going back to the roots or the breathing or different exercises, help in their work and in what they are doing? In what way did you work with them?
Yes, I've been lecturing about the subject, but also been talking about the importance to be here and now, because it's quite stressful to going from A to B and being on a mission and then going directly to another mission and then maybe again to another mission. It's, I mean, we're all human beings, and we all take in what we see and what happens around us. So I think it's important for each one of us that, say no to the stress and remind ourselves, okay, where are you? Take a deep breath. An example for the police, they maybe sit in the cars between the missions, and they can, have a moment, of just peacefulness and, reconnect. And it's like, okay, next one. So, and if it's an organization in the office or whatever it is, it's the same.
Yeah.
And I always say, and I always write, it's like, take a moment. Many times of the day, just take a moment, be quiet, connect to yourself, check in with yourself. What's going on? Where do I have my breath? What do I think? What do I hear? What's outside me? Okay, that's enough, then back to work. Because these tiny pauses or micro pauses, it helps. So it's mainly that I've been teaching and talking about.
Beautiful. And it brings back energy as well.
Absolutely.
I mean, if you feel drained and you starting to focus on your breath for a while or the things around, like focusing on one thing at a time, that really gives energy back.
Yeah, it does.
So in every episode that I have, I usually ask our guests 3 things that they would give to other people that they can do to live a more sustainable lifestyle. Number 1, what would you like to recommend them?
I can just do what I do. Just take clothes, for example. Really take a look what you have in your wardrobe. Because we don't have to buy new all the time for fashion. Try to be fashionable and or you can. In Sweden anyway, so much second hand, and you can just wash. It's no problem. So use again and again and again.
Yeah.
Plastic bag is a no, definitely. So bring material bags to store or shop and use them again. Don't throw away plastic, or don't use plastic bags. And number 3, like cleaning products. When you flush them away, in the bathroom or like in the sink. Just in Sweden we have this called såpa. I don't know what you call it in English. Do you?
No, I actually don't know. But I would just like to call it soap. But I know it's it's not the proper one.
It's from the trees. It's from.
And you can make it from oil as well.
Yes,
like for example,
It's a natural product anyway that they use for cleaning everywhere.
Yeah.
So it doesn't flush out chemicals. So. That's the treetop for me.
Yeah, that's a good one. Definitely, all those 3 are really good tips. And just being aware of what you put out there.
Yes, exactly.
And how your waste is going, where it ends up. So be aware of where it ends up, so you know what you can.
Yeah, I think so too. Use. And because the nature is fantastic, we are a visitor in nature, not opposite.
Yeah.
So and a lot of happens in nature, and. The nature in many places in the world are really sour because of us.
Yeah.
And that's really, really sad. So if we're gonna keep living here, we have to do something about it.
Yeah, definitely.
And be aware what we are doing ourselves, and also, you know, garbage and everything, just put it where it's supposed to be.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so I wanted to end this session today with asking you this kind of practice in what way, like for example mindfulness or meditation or stress therapy even. How can we use these practices, or can we use them to both connect with other people but nature as well, and maybe handling situations differently? In what way can this be helpful?
There's a lot of science, both of with meditation practice and mindfulness practice. And when we practice both of them daily and regularly, it happens something inside of us and also in the brain, actually. We get calmer, we get more understandable, we get more lovable with ourselves and other people. So much positive effects that it gives. So of course it happens. So because when you get more aware, you start to see things that you didn't see before when you were so stressed or didn't feel good, or you know. So absolutely, and you get more you can understand people in another way, or maybe argument or things like that. It doesn't get maybe so important for you. So you also get better self-confidence, and you grow as a person inside out instead of just being on the outside. And the other thing leads to the other thing, the better thing, and it gets better and better and better. And for me, I think it's fantastic. I had the awareness in the forest here at the farm when I was a child, riding the ponies, meeting elks and foxes and all the animals in the forest. It was amazing. But then sure, I got, you know, I grew up and things had happened in between. And but now I'm back again, and I'm so grateful, you know, to reconnect and help others reconnect with themselves.
That's beautiful. And I believe that, like, looking at the children, they have this naturally.
Yeah.
Like helping our kids to be who they are through life, and getting that safe space to continue being who they are, and exploring the world in the way that they see it. Because when we grow up, we tend to lose or get lost in other things that maybe is not what makes us really happy in the end. And we try to work our way through lives to find back or go back to that feeling that we had as a kid, that curiosity and interest for the world and for life.
Yes.
So I believe this is a great tool and a very necessary tool to bring with us on the journey that is coming as well, because loads of things are happening in the world, and it will probably happen more things.
Yeah.
So to have those tools to reconnect and root ourselves back, and be more lovable and having more understanding towards other people and their processes.
Yeah, to have more understanding for ourselves, for others and the world.
Yeah.
And to grow your perspective of yourself, of others and the world. So it's fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah, you always have the possibility to choose what way you look at the world. Exactly. If you look at it in a sad world or a fearful world, or if you look at it like a world full of possibilities and love and a lot more things to come.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for being on this program, Jessica. It's been a pleasure to have you here. And thank you all for listening today, and I hope you have gained some inspiration from this program. And if you're interested to know a bit more about what Jessica is doing, you can go on to our website and find the links there. You can also follow Jessica on what platforms can you follow?
Both on Facebook and Instagram.
And what should we search for?
Just Jessica Sterner.
Jessica Sterner, and you will find all the information there with meditations and different interesting stuff that you have going on. And I know as well that you are starting to make these meditations in English in a
Yes, that will be. Many people have asked me for that, so yeah, it will happen.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
And also, this retreat's coming up on my farm in Gothenburg. My family's on my farm, so that's great.
Beautiful.
It's been great to be here. Thank you so much, Sandra.
Thank you for being here, and thank you all for listening. See you next time. India,